Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. It's a Spectrum repair day today. This pair of Spectrums were recently featured on a triage video. I forget which one. But I'm going to have a go at fixing both of them because I think that this one is going to be very quick. And this one might actually be more of a challenge. So this could end up being a single video with both of them, or it could end up being a two-parter. But let's see how we get on. I'm going to start with the simple one first, and let's get this one out of the way. So I decided that in the triage video that this one has a short on TR4, TR5 and the coil. So let's have a look at that first. There's no point in plugging it in because things will just melt. TR4 is here. Let's do this on the top side. It should be possible. Right, so between the base and the emitter, there's no short. And between the collector, the base and the collector, there's a short, a dead short. Let's check TR5 as well. TR5 is not shorted, but TR4 is. But the coil is also shorted, dead short across all of the points. This is the power circuit, the DC conversion circuit for the ZX Spectrum. We've got TR5 here and TR4 here are the main culprits, and here's the coil, and the collector, or the base and the collector, are shorted on this TR4 over here, and the coil is also shorted, but they're basically just all connected together. So the most likely thing that's happened is TR4 is shorted, is blown. It's the most fragile component in a ZX Spectrum. It's under a lot of load. So what I'll do is remove this, and if the coil's then gone, then I know it's that. Or I can remove it and test the transistor itself. Either way, but let's warm up some hot irons. While we wait for the iron to heat up, let's have a quick look around this board. We've got a socketed ROM, and obviously the ULA is always socketed unless somebody's changed it. It looks like everything else on here is original and factory. There's no work that's been done to this at all. And that's always a nice thing to see. I prefer not to see too much devastation before I can actually get into the machine. There we go. All right, let's check across the coil first, I think. And the short's gone. And if I check, yeah, a blown transistor. Let's pop a new one back in there and turn it on and see what it does. So it's a ZTX 650 that's the standard part in there, and this is a ZTX 651, which is a like-for-like replacement. All right, connect up my bench power supply, put in the Steam Card Pro. I have checked all of the resistances and everything across the... Well, let's actually do it properly. So in resistance mode, with one lead on ground, let's check on the voltage regulator first and make sure there's nothing shorted. Then on the rail, the voltage rails on the lower RAM on these 4116 chips, and they all seem all good. And I've already checked the coil, so I'm not going to turn it over for that. So I'm looking here at the indicators here for the power rails. So we've got 12 volts, 9 volts, 5 volts and minus 5 volts. Oh, and I've got the power supply, the bench power supply, current limiting to 800 milliamps. And it did actually, it is actually current limited. I think it just needs a little bit more. Let's give it 900 milliamps. Yeah, it's a lot happier now, and all the voltage rails are there. So the next thing I need to do, well, somebody's already composite modded this. There's just a bit of a bodged piece of wire going into the side there, but that should do. Let's plug in a composite lead and see what sort of output we get. Okay, so two things. We've got a bad chip, IC 16, which is this one here, down here. Everything else looks okay. The video quality is horrendous, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's sort out IC16 first. That's interesting. A big blob of solder just fell off of the board. I don't know where that was sitting. I'm not really liking this composite mod very much, so I'm going to sort that out in a minute. But let's get IC16 out first. Got one pin that's being reluctant up the top here. What is that? Yeah, it's on a big thick trace. Give it a chance to melt all the way through. That's cleared it. Yeah, most of the pins feel free, just rocking it backwards and forwards. But I think there's a couple that are still solid, so I'm just going to blast it with some hot air. Don't really have to worry about melting anything too much here. It's already coming out. I barely had to warm it up. So I'd like to use my new Pico DRAM tester, but I can't because it's not yet compatible with the upper memory in a ZX Spectrum, but I can use my old cheapo tester. And this is a very good tester. I really do like this one. Get over here. But this will show me if upper or lower RAM is, or the upper or lower section, because it's divided into two halves. Oh, yeah, bad. That's good. And the Retro Chip Tester Pro will also test these, but it's just getting it out. Let's stick a socket in there. A nice shiny new 4164, shiny newish, probably reclaimed from somewhere. Actually, let's test it first. It takes quite a long time to test a 64 kilobit DRAM in this tester. But if I plug in my Pico DRAM tester, I stick and there, 4164, what is it? It's 150 nanosecond. It failed. Why did it fail? Well, it's passing at 300 nanoseconds, which is slower. Let's go down to 200. Interesting. Yeah, it's failing on its stated rating. Let's try this one. This one is also 150 nanoseconds, a different brand. It's got an M on it. I don't know what that means. I'm not very good with the brands on chips. So let's go to 150 nanoseconds, and that's failing as well. Yeah, this could be because I'm powering it off of the USB. Okay, I'm going to put it in and see what the actual diagnostic says once it's in there. Let's see if it works. Oh yeah, I can see where the problem is on the video, I think. It's passed all of those tests, but this video quality issue is bad. So the first thing to do is probably to check the composite mod that's been put in here. and replace it, in fact, with a capacitor. My preferred method. It's not terrible, but it's just a bit sloppy, and I want to take it out. Let's just chop that. $100 microfarad cap. This is how I like to mount them. And then I'll just bend this top lead so that it goes straight in. Like that. All right, see if we get any better picture from that. I don't think we will. Bit more stable. Let's see what it looks like with some colour. Yeah, still some interesting interference going on there. Actually, let's see if we can get rid of that green tint first. All right, so I'm going to adjust the variable resistors to see if I can just clean this signal up slightly. It's already fairly close to its optimum. Yeah, I'm just making it worse. I might have just needed a slight tweak. Yeah, this interference on the screen, I'm hoping is not my capture device. I'm just going to plug it into my TV briefly, just to make sure. Yeah, there is still that smear on the right hand side of yellow. It doesn't look perfect. Let me just test it with the Steam card. It looks okay. Looks really good actually on this screen that you can't see. Oh, okay, that does look better even on capture now. There's still a little bit of flickering and interference going on there that I don't like. Yeah. Yeah, that interference is just happening on my capture device. I've had some problems with this. I had to take it apart and try and fix it, and it seems to have made it worse. So I'm probably just going to have to buy a new one, which is going to make making videos a bit tricky until I can get one of those delivered. That's a pain. Okay, just to prove to you, this does look absolutely perfect. I'll just reset the... there we go. There's no flickering. It's an absolutely solid, perfect picture. It looks really, really good, actually. Really good for an issue 2 with original caps. A little bit of moire on there, sorry. Perfect. So I don't need to do anything else to this one. I'm not replacing the caps. For the people that don't like that, I apologise, but these are not my computers. These are just to be resold. And if if you want to replace the caps when you buy it, that's up to you. But it costs quite a lot of money, and I'm not going to eat into Paul's profits just to satisfy people on the internet. I genuinely don't like replacing caps unless they are actually... Look, let's test these. If any of these are over 5 ohms with this ESR meter, I will replace them. Wish these leads were longer. These can often be tricky. That's an ohm. These 12-volt caps down here. Sorry, you can't see it, but and that's an ohm. These ones under the heatsink are often a problem. 2.8, I don't think it's perfect, but it's still within spec. I've seen new caps with a higher ESR than that. 2.6, it's fine. 3.75, that's fine. Anything over 5, remember. Perfect, that one. Half an ohm. 1.5, it's fine. It's not new, but it's still working. Half an ohm, lovely. And the last 2 over here. Ooh, hang on. Oh, 4.66. Is that on there properly? Yeah, 4.7. And 2.2. So this one here is actually, that's a 1 microfarad, I do believe. From memory. No, it's a 22. Okay, I'm going to replace that one. That's close enough. Better check that works. Yep, perfect. No problem at all. Well, this one had an original membrane in it. Let's see if the keyboard works. Yeah. Okay, yeah, the keyboard is working perfectly. Well, I'll just put the original screws back in and package this one up and ready to go. So I'm going to leave this video here, but this computer, the second one I was going to look at, has a slightly different problem in that there's no minus 5 volts. So that's actually meant to be minus 5. And I don't know what's going on there. So we'll have a look at that in the next one, and have the schematic for the power circuit all printed out, ready to go. So I can look at what's missing, or why, something between TR4, because if the 12 volts is there, then it should be working. But it's difficult to diagnose these because you can't just turn it on and then start probing around at what's missing, because you'll destroy the lower memory if the minus 5 volts is missing. So I just need to actually probably pull a leg on each of these components, all these diodes and capacitors in between this part of the circuit and where the minus 5 volts actually exits the DC circuit, and find out which one of them is actually broken. Could be this C46 electrolytic capacitor, which is this one. Should we test that? I've got the meter here. C46, that one. Oh, I think that's the problem. Look at that. That capacitor is gone. That's gone open circuit. It's a 1 microfarad capacitor. Yeah, I think that's probably the fault. But look, we'll look at that in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.